hello, welcome everyone, everywhere. I am at MPP Studios. It is Shartia Love Jones right now getting ready to have this awesome interview. However, before I do, I have to read this awesome bio of this person so that you can learn more and be intrigued, just as intrigued as I was. Originating from Kansas City and laying his musical roots in Minnesota, Afro Preacher is in a league of his own. His unique blend of gospel sounds, hip hop, soul, R&B, and Minnesota funk. Not the church folks gospel, but the controversial sound Afro calls his musical revolution. I used to believe that there was a musical revolution coming until I realized that I am the revolution, and the world needs to get ready. You all, I'm sitting here with the amazing Afro Preacher, and we're getting ready to dig in just a little bit, so I hope you all are ready for this interview. How you feeling today?
All right. I'm doing good. Church gang.
Hey,
we all in here.
Church gang.
Church gang.
I like that already. We got a hashtag just kicking off the first few minutes. You all, we are here actually today, and it is a monumental event. It is the grand opening of MPP Studios, and Afro Preacher was actually the first performer to ever break it in. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I want to know how you feel about that.
You know, like a new pair of shoes. You know, I mean, hey, put the new pair of shoes on, like a fresh new pair of Ferragamos, baby. Just, slide them on. Break them in. Yeah. Hey, I'm blessed. Blessed to be here. Blessed, watching our sister do it, pushing during the pandemic. Hey, shout out to the pandemic pushers.
Yeah.
See, and what up?
That's actually going to lead me into my next question. Well, I saw your performance, and let's just say impressive, okay?
Thank you.
But speaking about the pandemic and pushing in a pandemic, can you tell us how your life either was changed or was affected by the pandemic as an artist?
It was pretty good for me.
Okay.
Because I chose to... See, I'm one of those when things happen, I think you have two choices. You go with it or go against it. I'm one of those that go with it.
Okay.
And to me, it just seemed like an opportunity. Like, okay, pandemic, we're all in the house, this and that, what we gonna do? Well, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing I'm doing. I'm just gonna put it online.
Okay.
And I just really bumped up my website, YouTube, social media, because right now, just what's going on, nobody's telling you to get off your phone.
Right.
Stay on your phone, stay on your computer, this and that, or whatever. So, hey, make that content, and I'm just like one of those. I have a few things going on. So I like to just keep pushing myself artistically, to keep coming up with just stuff just to keep
it moving.
Let's just keep it moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you too were pushing in the pandemic, sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
So your genre, like when I was reading those descriptions and the character that kind of came off of the page from the bio, it sounds very eclectic. Can you describe your style?
It's been through a few changes. A couple buddies of mine have given it a couple names.
Okay.
I had a buddy of mine used to call it sexy church music.
Oh. Hey, sexy church music.
Sexy church music,
Okay.
But it's kind of just, it's that St. Paul, from St. Paul, just I am from Kansas City, but just from those, just growing up in Kansas City, and I really didn't get a chance to participate in secular music actually growing up.
Okay.
It was mostly just gospel music and stuff like that. I really didn't get a chance to really get into it till after school, college, military, and all that.
Okay.
So it was just really gospel for me, just straight away.
That was the foundation.
Right. And then when I got but when I started really being in Minnesota and living there and stuff like that, and just at that time, so much music was going on in the Twin Cities, in the early 90s, early 2000s. It just really just bled off into the type of music that I did.
Okay.
And it actually happened by accident.
Okay.
But because of my grandparents and how strict they were with our musical selection and stuff like that, I was still listening to hip hop, but they didn't know that's what it was because I'd be singing it.
Wait, you were singing it like it was a gospel hymn?
Oh yeah. Once I get back, here's the incredible brown animal,
Yes.
the incredible D.
Oh.
Public enemy, no one. Yeah,
No, that's right. Say, I'm gonna get it in and I'm
Yeah,
say, y'all. I love it. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. And once you did transition and you were older, did they accept it more or?
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandparents weren't so strict in their older age.
Okay.
And my dad was always been a musician. My dad plays about 14, 15 instruments.
Wow.
So between me and my brother, actually our talent split. I'm a songwriter and my brother is.
Okay.
So it just split. And I really just got the songwriting from my dad. Like my dad is one of the songwriters for the song Fame. So that's kind of where.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again. Say that again.
My dad was one of the co-writers of the song Fame.
Like,
Fame,
I'm gonna live forever. What?
That's my dad.
Yes.
So yeah, I really just got it from him.
So it's innate. You couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been doing the musical part?
On and off during the early 90s, but I necessarily don't count that because I wasn't supposed to be doing that.
you were making hip hop hymns.
Yeah.
Right.
But Afro Preacher didn't materialize till like 2000. And it still wasn't Afro Preacher then. One of my buddies gave me that name.
Okay, I was just about to ask, give me the story behind that name. I need the story behind that one.
My boy Jay Griff.
Okay.
One of the labels one of the first day labels I signed to up in the Twin Cities.
Mm-hmm.
And I still didn't have a name at that time. So he was like, you know what? You sound like your grandfather when you on the mic and stuff like that. And you always got the Afro, man. We're going to start calling you Afro Preacher. That's what we're going to start talking. And I was like, nah, man, that's not going to fly.
You didn't agree first.
No, I didn't agree first. Because I was like, dude, I'm barely supposed to be out here with y'all.
Right.
You talking about Afro Preacher. I gotta go unveil this blasphemy to my people. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. But it caught on. Stuff like that, and it really did fit. But my guy Jay Griff, he was one of those that really musically knew who I was. Because I was just a big funk kid. I like the funk music just rolls through me. Because funk music is like the other side of gospel, of the same coin. Because the counts are the same, the turns are the same.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, just how Funketeers freestyle their music is the same way.
Wow.
That gospel do that same thing. When you check it out one time, listen to them, be at church, and listen to the preacher, make it all up.
Right. You know what? That's a great connection. And then when you think about it, sometimes when they freestyle in church, you're like, that sounds like a little.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's what it is.
Wow. I've never even thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That's a great connection. I never even thought. And your name is the perfect blend of that. Now that I know the story behind that.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you to know the story. Okay. In the pandemic, how did you balance life and music? Because life changed completely as well, like family and all of that good stuff.
My significant other actually is who really helped me.
I love it.
Just the stuff that I'm thinking that I'm not thinking of, she's thinking of.
Oh.
And because I'm an artist and that's where my mind is,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the practical things in life can get past me. You know, I'm not seeing them.
Right.
But, you know, when you got somebody that can, you know, pull on your coattails, hey, you know, so that's really what it was. Because, you know, as artists, you know, our ideas are, you know, we want to, as long as I give my Michael Jackson glove, I'm about to get on the moon somewhere. Somewhere. It's like, no, that's an isotoner glove and you need to sit in the front row.
In the front room.
Right.
Put those 14 instruments right on down.
So yes, I would definitely have to say my significant other, Boss Tasha. I had to say her name.
I love that.
You know, she is really the one that helped me keep it balanced through this pandemic.
That's awesome. And you know what? That's good to hear because we need more of that.
Yeah.
You know, we need more of that balance and that love and that, you know, keeping each other accountable.
Yeah.
And just meeting each other where we are for that common end. I love that. So in the pandemic, y'all were balancing and keeping things together.
Yeah, it's good when you got somebody that can meet you in the middle.
Yeah. I like that. Meet you in the middle like funk in church.
That's right.
And mix it together like Afro Preacher with the AH. Y'all better get it right. Yes, okay. Let's talk about this musical revolution thing. Yes, tell us more about that.
Well, it's like, okay. I was born, you know, we were all born at that, you know, that era when the golden age hip hop back, and we all remember where you couldn't sound like somebody else. That was like the death nail to your career if you sounded like somebody else, like you out of there.
Right.
You know, so and how I wanted to like just approach my music and just how I wanted to approach it. I'm a comic book artist too.
Wow.
So my songs, I want them to kind of be the same way. They all have their own particular personality about them. Like I do albums, you know, sometimes you do an album and most of those songs is geared to that song title and stuff like that. Me, I don't necessarily do that. The album could be called this, but on that album, you've got regular hip hop, funk, reggae, Latin, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as long as I can get my church on, hit play. I'll find the preacher funk, booty jam, I'll find it in it.
Do that again, I missed that move. You'll find what? I want to say it again.
I'll find the preacher funk in it. I'll find it in there. You know, just let me be me. You know, so I like to give my songs their each personality. So it's like every time I'm throwing something at you, you get something different each time.
I like that. So that's what makes you the revolution, because that's what you do. I'm here for it. MPP Studios, we're here for it.
Hey.
Yes. My next question is, what is out right now? So tell us about the project that you have out or what you're working on. Tell us about that.
Right now, the lead project that is out is a song called I Don't Need You. It's doing real well. Thank God for the FLEETDJs that's been pushing it for me.
Come on, Fleet.
Love them family members. Y'all getting in from me. I appreciate y'all. The Bravo TV also picked up song I Don't Need You. It aired on the Atlanta Housewives.
What? Yes!
Yeah. Yeah, on their it was the
something about
the 10th episode.
Mm-hmm.
The 10th episode of this current season is when it aired during their that bachelorette party.
Oh, so somebody didn't need somebody, and somebody wanted somebody to know in the 10th episode.
And in the dungeon, because that's what they call it. They wanted somebody to let know that they need them in the dungeon.
Okay. All right, so tell us what inspired that song.
Well, what inspired the song is George Floyd. Is what inspired the song, because with everything that was going on, you know, and it just kind of really popped in my head. And my producer LST, when he shot me the track, it was no chorus on it or nothing. He just shot it to me, and I just heard it. And a lot of times when I'm writing my music, I really pretty much already got like 10, 11 verses already in my head done. Wow. That's how I see it.
Okay.
And I just, and I just jot them down, and just how the song was coming and just what was going on, because it was like about May, June. George, the whole thing with George just happened and all that, and it just really came to my mind, just the police brutality, the systemic racism, all these things that we don't need.
Yeah.
You know, that's going on with us. You know, it's like, we things we don't need. Like, I need to breathe. I don't need to not be breathing.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
So that's kind of where it all came from, and it just came together just that way. And I kind of picture, a lot of, what's a good way of putting it? Just mental, I like to call them mental experiments. You know, when you're thinking about stuff and trying to, as far as my music is, what's good and what's not, and how I'm just trying to really work it out.
Right.
And it was just like putting myself in George's shoes, you know, and just really thinking about what was going on, and just how you just don't need that crap, you know. And I just had to put it down. It's just, it was definitely George. Wow. And just the climate of the climate of what's going on in Minnesota.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we didn't know that we was going to pop off the resolute.
Right. Right, and being a black man with all this happening, that's something that you could visualize.
Oh yeah.
You know, quite easily putting yourself in his shoes.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, and what is it still like? Like, what's going on?
It's just, man, it's like, for us, you could be having a good day, and it's not to say that every cop is a bad cop. I don't believe that.
That's right.
Or whatever, but you see a cop and you just getting pulled over. You just like, dang, what's about to happen?
Yeah. Unsure.
Unsure.
Yeah.
It's the whole unsure thing, and that's really what it is, because people, as a people, the whole thing we don't want to deal with is uncertainty. Yeah. We don't want to deal with that. And, we try to let them know, just out of all these years we've been in this country and stuff has happened, we still are cool with equality. And just trying to let them know, like, one of the big things we say in Minnesota, look, y'all should be fine because we're cool with equality and we're not asking for revenge.
Right.
Okay? So we're going to try this equality thing with y'all a few more times.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Trying to be peaceful, but this is...
Because it's like,
insane. Yeah.
We don't need any more years as far as what's happened to black folks in this country to prove that that's just not in our nature.
That's right.
Okay, we don't have any history where thousands of us has gotten together and run through, a Caucasian town and off everybody.
Right.
We might feel that we might even have the right to do that, but we don't do that.
Right.
We don't.
We're just trying to be seen as human beings, just like the rest of the world.
Yeah, seen as human beings. Let us make our money. Leave us be.
Leave us alone. Yes, I like that. I know we went off into some other things, but I felt like it was important to touch on that, especially since you're in it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of us watching from the sidelines to other states and countries, but you're literally in it.
Yeah, we're like in it. Yeah. That's like no lie. We're like in it. Yeah. And like where it all happened at, on 38th in Chicago, it was like, and even what happened with Philando. Okay, and that happened in the city of Roseville, but where that happened, like, okay, think about it. Okay, there's the Cut Foods, that's actually a mosque that's under Cut Foods, so that's one church. Then there's two other churches that are cat-a-corner from there, so it's like 3 churches on that block.
Wow.
And y'all decided to do this where actually a lot of black folks congregate at, like right in the middle, on 38th in Chicago. Well, you see where it turned into. They could have did it anywhere. I would have told them to do it anywhere else but 38th in Chicago.
Wow. See, you're telling me things that I didn't know because we're not there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was just before the like during the verdict, you know, you could just tell the city was just like everywhere. We probably, me and my guy, we hit a few cities that day. St. Paul, Minneapolis, Roseville, Brooklyn Center, surrounding suburbs. Everybody was boarding up. Everybody was boarding up.
It was tense, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say that I'm grateful that it's a bit.
We chose peace. We chose peace.
And that you all are safe and that we are moving in a more positive direction prayerfully in that situation. But I had no idea that song was the basis, because I was like, yeah, I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I was grooving earlier, y'all. Y'all should have saw me. I was getting it. The performance was awesome. But yeah, it's deep. But even if you want to take it to a little bit more of a shallow point, you can tell somebody, I don't need you.
Yeah.
If you don't need any of that negative energy, because right now we need to just be more positive and own that. So thank you for giving us that and for allowing us to experience that in our world and for giving the history on that. And are you performing now? Like, are things opening up? Like, what's happening with that?
Well, a few things has opened up. Also, I just dropped a song, Undressed, a few months ago. So that's something else that's going on.
Okay.
And things are starting to open back up in the Twin Cities. It's starting to get relaxed. As we were really bad, the restrictions super tight up there for a while. But now we're starting to open up. So a few more local shows. So we're opening up stuff up there. I'm got a few dates and stuff on the table and stuff, just waiting to confirm a few things. Okay. But stuff is starting to open back up. You know, everybody's just trying to be safe. It's just what it is. You know, everybody's trying to be safe. Right. Nobody wants to be the person that, it was my fault. I started a super spreader event. It was me. Right. Nobody wants.
Shut down and everybody looking at me like I'm crazy.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So it's stuff is starting to open up. So I got that going on. A lot of new videos that are actually coming. I'm actually shooting and recording and editing all the time. So I'm constantly feeding the YouTube machine. Right. Stuff like that. I've actually got some martial arts stuff that's going to be dropping and stuff pretty soon.
When you say you do a lot, you are not playing. You have named everything from martial arts to artistic drawing and everything else under the sun. But I love it. He said 7 streams. Come on, 7 times 7. I don't know what we're doing here. I love it though. Eclectic is what we called it, right? Yeah, creatives. You know, I want you to go ahead and share with the audience now so that they can begin to start to know where to follow you and how to follow you and, you know, what platforms and where to get all this information, because you have a lot going. And I even saw a TikTok and you were active. So, you know, it's all of that, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can tell everybody the best place to hit me up, of course, was on my website, which is AfroPreacher.com. And it's Afro, like, you know, Hollywood Shuffle Afro.
Come on.
Okay. And then
Afro.
That's right. Okay, then Preacher, but not ER at the end, it's AH at the end. You know, like, you ever been in church, you know, the preacher, he dropped a napkin, he dropped his handkerchief, and when he bent over, he got it. So, Preacher, that's how you say it. So, AfroPreacher.com.
Right, with the I at the end.
Yeah, with the AH at the end.
That's right.
You know, and it's the same way everywhere. Afro Preacher on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. I'm the only Afro Preacher on the planet. Okay. So it'll be, you'll be, I'm really easy to find.
It'll be there. And we know MP Studios is going to be putting up info and FLEETDJs and all that good stuff. So definitely just follow the movement. Now, I absolutely can't let you go without asking this question, because it's a famous question that we love to ask. I'm going to need your top 5, dead or alive. Who are your top 5? So like your inspiration, the people, artists and people that are the reason that you in the game, so they can either be living or not living. Your top 5.
Okay, so I'll spread it around. Let's see.
Okay.
So I'll pick one out of a few different things. Okay, so
Yeah.
for like hip hop music, my number one is MC Light.
Okay.
You know, Light as a rock.
Come on.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yes. Okay. I actually know her DJ.
Light as a rock. You know, so MC Light, like as far as like MCs, you know, she's definitely like one of my number ones. As far as martial arts has to be definitely Jim Kelly.
Okay.
You know, Big Brother Jim. He's one of the first brothers, you know, that got introduced on TV or in a movie as far as martial arts.
Okay. I love this top five, y'all. This top five is going from all his creative background, artistry, everything he does. So this is a different kind of top five, and that's what we do at MPP. We break stuff.
Break it down.
We break it open. Let's go.
So then, let's see. So definitely Jim Kelly.
Okay.
Guy. As far as like the art, you know, definitely, you know, I gotta give it up to my guy. He passed.
Okay.
From Marvel Comics. You know, I got.
Yes. I know you're talking about, and because I want to think of it, I can't.
I know. I just like.
He's in every movie.
How he just you know just passed my brain. Y'all know who it is. The CEO of Marvel Comics. Y'all know who it is. True Believers. You know my guy.
Yes. And
okay. Stan Lee.
That's it.
I just had to go ahead and just keep spinning it off.
Right. I'm like, that's it. I'm like,
okay, Stan Lee.
I'm like, I hear Lee and.
Yes. Well, actually, two artists, Stan Lee, and then Jim Lee, who was one of the artists to Spawn, the black.
He drew Spawn.
Created. Okay. Created Spawn, okay. Jim Lee. Okay. And for Image Comics, so that's like 2 and 3, and then let's see. Just like, you know, and he's kind of number one, but I just wanted to save him to the end. You know, it's definitely my pops.
Oh,
you know, James Porter Jr.
I like say it again.
James Porter Jr.
Yes.
Boy, look at here, James Porter. Look at Junior. Look, they call him Junebug back home.
Okay, we got the nickname.
Yeah, they call him Junebug back home. You know, Pops is like my definitely number one as far as like, he was one of the ones that always kind of kept it where artistically I could express myself all the time.
That's good.
You know. And he took, you know, he really just took us everywhere. Like I'm, you know, 4 or 5 years old, you know, chilling with him while he's out late playing at a jazz club.
Right.
Yeah, and that was real known for back then, taking kids with you to the jazz club, you playing on the piano, sit back there.
That's right. That's right. Sit back here and learn you something.
Yep.
You know, and that just attests to the importance of Black men, you know, in the family structure. You know, and I love that.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
So awesome.
We have a little thing in, as far as the men in our family. We go by the League of Super. We go by the League of Super Dads. Is what we call ourselves.
I like that.
Oh yeah.
Sound like something that should go.
Oh yeah,
viral.
Yeah. The League of. Oh yeah. I'm giving
him another thing, y'all.
Right. You want to join the League of Black Super Dads?
Yes, I love that.
Sure can. All of them can jump. All of them is strong enough to jump over a laundry man.
Come on. Let's do the sound effect again. Got it. We're going to put it in a drop at MPP Studios. Y'all heard it here. I want you to share a piece of information that you would share with someone who was trying to do what you do or be creative in these times. What would you suggest for someone? What type of advice or piece of advice do you have to offer?
Good question. And actually what I would say is artist. Because like I said before, our dreams are really big.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes, not saying that it's not okay to have a big dream, but you still have to have some secure footing. Mm-hmm. So, my biggest thing for artists is to your music business education.
Yes.
Is the biggest thing. Okay, because, you know, some artists don't understand that there's more than just getting played on the radio.
Facts.
You know, there's TV, video games,
right.
You know, licensing as far as, you know, movies, those sort of things. You know, those are the, not saying that, you know, I love the radio like anybody else.
Right. But
because of kind of with the big, like, record labels are kind of putting some of that junk out here and stuff like that or whatever. And not to saying that we didn't have no bubblegum rap or nothing like that when we was, during the golden age or anything like that.
Right.
But it's gotten to where they're, these new generations, they're so blinded by the glam and the glit, they actually have no idea about the music business, about understanding what a music manager is, understanding what the music supervisor is, understand publishing. Not just you heard about it, understand it, understand what publishing is, understand what licensing is, understanding what self-managing is, self-manage until you actually have enough going on for a manager, because that's what a lot of people do. They want to put the cart before the horse. Oh, I need a manager. Well, you ain't got nothing to manage yet.
What you manage?
Yeah, you better manage yourself to work.
Right.
That's where.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's mostly what I just tell. Just your music education. Being an MC is like 10%. It's 10%.
Right.
Me as a martial artist, I just have to look at that way because it's okay. You're MC and you've been rapping for 10, 12, 13, 14 years. I expect you to be a master. I don't expect you to be a child. So when you become a master at that, it should be that way.
Right.
Now you got that part. Get on the business part.
Right.
Because rapping is just like fighting. Just do it.
Right.
Okay. The busy work, you got to get your coffee, sit down, turn the computer on.
Right. Do the work, study your craft.
On the phone at the same time, talking business, and a lot of artists, they don't even want to go that far.
Right.
All they want is a studio record and go home. Well, you can do that, okay? I suggest you probably talk to any Motown artists that are still alive and ask how it worked out for them.
Right. Right. And that is probably key in the longevity of an artist. How long they last, the whole one-hit wonder, or we hear about some of these groups that have been out and they come out and say, we didn't make any money. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
But you were number one on the charts for years and years, but they didn't have the business.
They had their business.
They weren't aware. Right.
You was the number one artist, but you wasn't the number one business person.
Right.
Be the number one business person.
Wow.
Put out a mediocre record. And be the number one business person, so you're getting all your money off that mediocre record.
That's right.
Not a number one and you don't see nothing. You get a bike like New Edition.
Right. Because and it's a lot of big groups out there that I've been hearing about that lately. So that's true, and that's really good. That's really, really good information for people. I love that.
Yeah, education.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've had an amazing time. This final question is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years with what you're doing and all of your crafts and your goals?
Oh, shoot. I see myself like Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, like 1 billion years old, still doing it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay?
Yes.
Billion years old. I mean, look, the Rolling Stones ain't asked nobody's permission about how old when they should sit down.
I know that's right.
Ain't nobody asked the Rolling Stones. Ain't nobody asked Fleetwood Mac. Ain't nobody asked the Grateful Dead.
Come on.
Ain't nobody.
Let's go.
Ain't nobody asked them when they done.
That's right.
Well, I'm trying.
You see yourself going and going and going and going. I like it. Like
that's right. Look, wheelchair. Church, baby.
Roll it again. Roll it.
Church.
Roll it. Afro Preacher. Y'all, in MPP Studios.
Where we at?
We have had a true blast. It has been an amazing day. And I'm taken aback. This has been an amazing interview. I thank you on behalf of MPP Studios.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I am Shartia Love Jones, and I think we can go ahead and say it's a wrap. How about you?
Church gang.
Don't forget to follow. Give them that information one more time.
Check your boy out at afropreacher.com and Afro Preacher, no matter where it is. Google me.
Let's go.
Let's go.